Hi everyone, welcome back. My name is Rose. I am a 29-year-old trans woman living in the US, making videos to share about my experiences as a trans woman and hoping to inspire others or encourage other people and connect with other people on their own gender journey. I wanted to talk today about gender euphoria or gender joy. I know it can be easy as trans people and just in the media and the culture we live in to focus on gender dysphoria, which is like not feeling good about our bodies or the way we're seen or the way we express our gender. And I've definitely experienced that. A lot of trans people do as well, but I wanted to focus today more on gender euphoria and the times that I feel really happy and joyful around my gender and expressing my gender. Because that's what keeps me going, that motivates me. It's just what makes life worth living, is experiencing joy. And I wanted to share, and hopefully you can comment about your own experiences of gender euphoria, gender joy that you felt as a trans woman, or trans people in general. First off, early on when I started transitioning and came out or started just presenting as a woman last year in the summertime, I first just felt a lot of euphoria by hearing my name, like hearing people call me Rose. That felt really good, and it was new. Like, I wasn't used to being called Rose, obviously, because I had been called my birth name for 28 years, but that felt really good. And then the pronouns I use, she, her pronouns, being called she by like close friends immediately calling me she and her, felt really good. More recently, I have had a few times where just in public, like someone has said like, oh, can you ask her blah blah blah, or like she was looking for blah blah blah, referring to me. And I still sometimes have moments where I'm like, are they talking about me? Like, wow. It feels really good to be called she, because that's me. Those are my pronouns, and that feels really good. And so those are some experiences of gender euphoria, but also very like personal ones is just like having my hair get longer. I had really short hair a year ago, and I was frustrated because I wanted long hair like right away. I had never had long hair. I'd always had it really, really short. And so actually just the first time like being able to put my hair up in a bun like this, I was so happy. My hair is still fairly short. It's like down to here. So I've like bobby pinned it up to keep it up in a little bun. But I was so happy, and it was just like new hairstyle unlocked and new gender euphoria unlocked. Like doing space buns like I did in the other video. I love that. That brought me a lot of gender euphoria when I learned that I could do that. And there's just I noticed a lot of like learning that comes with being a trans woman for me, like learning how to do makeup or learning how to style my hair in ways that I like, and a lot of unlearning as well. But yeah, euphoria I've also felt with like boobs, growing boobs, and like being able to look down and be like, oh my gosh, I have boobs growing. That's really exciting. And like euphoria around just like not having facial hair, that was a big thing for me. So yeah, I don't have any like foundation or makeup on today, just doing laser hair removal to remove the facial hair. That's brought a lot of gender euphoria, and finally being like, oh, like the facial hair is going away. That feels really good to me. And by the way, this is all just personally what feels good for me. It's not a statement on like who is valid as a trans woman. Like trans women with beards are valid, trans women who have really short hair are valid. Like it's just what personally I like. Another big thing is ear piercing. So I got my ears pierced last year, like literally the week after I realized that I'm trans. and went to the piercing salon, and I got like tiny little studs put in, and it took months and months for them to heal, and then finally I was able to switch in like fun dangly pink earrings like these that I love. That's brought me a lot of gender euphoria. I've always just wanted to wear dangly earrings, and now I get to, and I love it. And I love like weird, like I have like gummy bear earrings and clamshell earrings. I love like funky earrings. That brings me a lot of joy. Getting my nails done, so like getting like longer like acrylic nails is really fun, and obviously you can tell I like color a lot of different colors, but that brings me a lot of gender euphoria. It just feels femme, and it's just fun. Like I like the clicking, like the sound that they make when I like type on my phone screen. It's so weird, but it's like these little things, and sometimes it's very sensory things. So also, speaking of like sounds, I like wearing like dangly, jangly bracelets because it just feels feminine to me, and like I like the sound of it, and that brings me a lot of joy. Yeah, it feels very personal, and I don't even know where these things come from. Like my mind wants to be like, where does that come from? And like, how was I taught that these things are feminine? I don't know. Probably deep in childhood and things that I grew up around, or just women around me, obviously mostly cis women around me, and what I saw them doing, or how I associated that around being a woman or being feminine. But it's really cool for me as a trans woman to explore these things and feel what feels right and what doesn't. Yeah, I have tried things that for example, that just didn't feel right. Like I tried like a push-up bra, for example, and I was just like, nope, not for me. Like I don't like it. I don't like the way that feels. Like the wire and no, just not my style. That did not bring me much gender euphoria, but it's nice to try those things. High heels, definitely. I love to rock high heels. I'm a tall girl. I'm 6 foot, which is so weird because I never got comments on my height when I was presenting as a cis guy. But as soon as I've come out as a trans woman, being 6 foot, like I get comments all the time, which sometimes is its own form of gender euphoria. Like the other day there was this cis guy was like asking me like, oh, do you play basketball? Like you're so tall. And he's like, I bet you get that all the time. And in my head I'm like, I've never gotten that before because I grew up being seen as a guy who is not considered really tall as a guy. So yeah, I enjoy comments like that. I mean, sometimes it's annoying because I get comments all the time now of like, oh, you're so tall. But I still like it sometimes. So there's that, and heels I love. I feel very femme in. I like wearing dresses. I feel gender euphoria around dresses, and like other really femme outfits that I like crop tops. This is cropped. Pretty much everything I wear is cropped. I just like it and enjoy the way I look in it. I like mini skirts and booty shorts, and just and again, like I've gone back and forth with like, oh, that's buying into conventional femininity, which can be in many ways have a lot of misogyny underneath, or just sexualizing women and our bodies. And so, and as a trans woman, I think we are hypersexualized. I mean, I know for most cisgender men especially, first learn about trans women through porn, typically. So from the get-go, like we're often represented in hypersexualized ways. And then you add in race, like for Black trans women, like there's even more sexual stereotypes around race for trans women of color. And it's really harmful because we're just human beings. Like we're sexual beings. Some of us are asexual, but some of us are allosexual beings who are sexually attracted. But the point is just that all that is to say, I think we still, many trans women want to express in ways where we do feel sexy, even if it's quote unquote buying into some of these forms of conventional femininity or stereotypes. I think it just comes down to what feels good in the moment and how are we being perceived and whether we feel comfortable with that. And yeah, I think it's an ongoing dialogue. And I also know that I've wanted to dress very femme in a lot of ways so that I do get perceived as a woman. Like if I wore something more quote unquote butch, that I might get misgendered or seen as a guy, which I really don't want. And maybe further into my transition, as with being on hormones and having like changes in the way I look, I may one day feel a lot more comfortable wearing more butch clothing, and it can change over time. But for the most part, yeah, I enjoy really just having like hid away femininity and like hid in myself and avoided anything feminine for so much of my life. It just feels very freeing and empowering to just unapologetically like go for whatever I feel is super feminine and express it, and that just feels good to me. Yeah, one other fun story of just gender euphoria is getting confused as like another woman. And I've had it happen twice where someone came up to me and was like, hey, are you like so and so? Or like, oh, I thought you were this other girl that I used to work with. And it's always like, it always feels good. It's just like, oh, you see me as a woman. Like, it feels good because I am a woman, and it's nice to be seen that way. So these are some things I experience around gender euphoria, where I feel really good about myself and my gender expression, and wanted to share those with all of you. I would love to hear again in the comments some gender euphoria you've experienced. And thank you for tuning into this video, and I wish you well in your own gender journey. Bye!